festivities we have host here at the great city of North Miami. We started with Cinco de Mayo, the opening of Haitian Heritage Month. We had Pacific Islander Month, Jewish Heritage Celebration was this month. So many different activities as we close out the month of May and get into the month of June. And we are getting ready for our last council meeting in July. So we're going to start with the call to order by Madam Clerk, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Major Angelo Brinson. Also, he'll do the invocation as well. And that'll be that. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. 7:05 p.m. Mayor Alex Dezelme,
Here.
Vice Mayor Estime Irvin, Councilman Galvin,
Here.
Councilwoman Timothy,
Here.
Councilman Charles.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brinson.
Let's all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the invocation. Father God in heaven, once again, we approach your throne of grace with bowed heads and thanksgiving in our hearts for all of your many blessings, knowing that all blessings come from thee and thee alone. We ask your blessing upon these proceedings as we have the privilege to stand and serve and lead this great city. We hope that these proceedings will be conducted respectfully and with the knowledge that everything we do and say here is done to improve the great city of North Miami. We ask all these things in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Major Brinson. Madam Manager, are we any addition, deletion, or amendment to the agenda?
No, sir.
Mr. Attorney, are we all set?
Yes, sir. The agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you so much. Guys, let's go down for quick presentation, followed by city announcement by, okay, we have 3 presentation. Councilwoman, you said you're going first?
No. I said that if we can have
Sure.
Mocha go and then when
Oh, sure.
when the agenda.
So let's have Mocha special presentation, and then from there, we will do the special presentation. You didn't want to do the special presentation?
No.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Shauna Sheldon, Executive Director of MOCA. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve as Executive Director of MOCA for the past 5 years. MOCA's partnership with the City of North Miami has enabled the museum to grow and flourish on the local, national, and international art scene through our critically acclaimed exhibitions. But just as important, together we have had a tremendous impact on the community. MOCA has served the community through engagement programs for North Miami residents, including Jazz at MOCA, MOCA at the Library, and more recently, art classes for seniors at Sunkist Grove Community Center, photography classes for North Miami seniors at North Miami Senior High, and the very exciting community print giveaway with artist Didier William. But we still have work to do, and that starts with building the MOCA brand. After conducting a national search, MOCA hired Miami-based firm Mach 2 to develop the museum's new look, for which I am very proud to share with you today. So I'm going to hand it over to our consultant, Kevin Kelsick from Mach 2.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. We were approached by MOCA to help them deliver on their strategic goals, which the brand building is at the very center of that. But, sorry? Mike, can you hear me better now? Perfect, sorry. As I was just saying that, thank you for your time, first of all, but we were approached by MOCA to help them align their strategic goals, central of which was building the brand. Building the brand is also a critical part of all of the other strategic goals as well, which include connecting to the community and integrating DEAI. The rebrand of MOCA will help to tell deeper, more consequential stories. It will illustrate the growth of the museum and its potential within not only the North Miami community, but the art world in general. It will build a more accessible intersection in which art, culture, and community intersect. The process started with qualitative research in really understanding the Mocha brand and its potential by speaking to key stakeholders. And it resulted in a brand definition that had certain requirements. The internal brand required it to be an expandable system that was easy to use, but externally it needed to be established and authoritative, but also approachable, forward-thinking, and very relevant to not only the North Miami community, but to the larger art world as well. This is the new Mocha Nomi logo. This logo is deeply rooted in story. It is the movement and the curves are really an indication of a pathway or a journey of discovery. You'll notice that the O intersects both words, Mocha and Nomi, really centering the museum in North Miami, indicating that it's not only where the museum is, but who the museum is. It's an integral and an inseparable part of the logo. The logo also includes an expansion of color. The current colors are black and white, but the new brand allows a much more expanded palette, which allows the museum to tell much more diverse stories. An integral part of the brand will be the new website, which is a dynamic, contemporary website with lots of accessibility features that will allow people of all abilities to use it, but also people of almost any language to use it as well. It tells the museum's story in a dynamic and integral way. It also connects to access to all of the amazing programs that are available within the museum. It speaks to the collection and even some of the exterior exhibits like the light tree. But in addition, it really allows an integrated and interactive process for users who want to visit the museum or to experience it. Supporting the website are many collateral items that are part of a system that are allowed for easy adaptability to language and audience. Here you're seeing just a sampling of many of the critical pieces, including some of the note cards and communication pieces. Here's an education brochure. Everything is designed in multiple languages and customized per audience and very versatile, and allowing the museum to be as dynamic as it can be in its communication. A membership brochure, a general brochure, community engagement tools, which are expansive, and this is just a sampling, but tools that really help to engage the community and connect to the community in multiple locations. And of course, social media are a really critical part of the museum's communication, giving it a versatile and dynamic set of tools to really communicate the museum's brand. And that is a quick summary. As you may have noticed, the brand was launched with the last exhibit, and it'll be slowly coming out into the community, with the website being launched in June and the entire transition being complete by midsummer. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Shauna, any more addition to the presentation?
No additions at this time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And thank you again, Shauna. Last week we had a private viewing of the new, you have two exhibits that's there. And I encourage everyone, if you haven't had the time, please stop by and see these amazing art work that's being displayed at our wonderful museum. Before we go down to the special presentation, I want to acknowledge Commissioner Melissa Dunn, my friend. Please stand up from Lauderhill, well, our north sister city from here. Thank you and welcome to our meeting. And Mr. Rubin, hey. Rubin, okay, so are we ready? Okay, awesome, let's go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vice Mayor Mary Estime Irvin, and it is a pleasure for me to be here with you today. As you know, we have been celebrating Haitian Heritage Month this whole month, so I hope you had a chance to attend the Lunch and Learn. You had a chance to get some compa class at the library. You had a chance to enjoy Haitian Flag Day that we had here at City Hall, and we have a whole lot of activity. But this month is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So today we have a proclamation, and right, so so we have the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we've been very intentional about making sure that we are aware of this issue. This is a subject that a lot of us suffer in our families in silence, and we just want to make sure that we are bringing the awareness and we are creating that safe space for people to get the information. So I'd like to call Commissioner Melissa Dunn and Ruben up, please, and as we present this proclamation. So, whereas mental health is a vital component of overall health and well-being and affects individuals, families, and community throughout the city of North Miami and specifically the Haitian community. And whereas, according to the National Alliance of Mental Illness, approximately 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 6 youth in the United States experience mental health each year, with depression and anxiety being the most common condition, whereas 50% of lifetime mental illness begin by the age of 14 and 75 by the age of 24. And whereas the Haitian community in North Miami is often underserved when it comes to mental health care, with language barriers, culture, stigma, lack of access to resources, continuing the disparity in care. And whereas Amplified Community Resource is partnering with the City of North Miami's Vice Mayor Mary Estime Irvin to host a screening to help us help, followed by a panel discussion on May 25th, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. to address the stigma of associated mental health in the Haitian community. And whereas HUSH, which stands for Help Us Say Help, is a 76-minute documentary about the origins of the generation trauma and access to mental health resources within the Black community. And whereas by declaring May 25th, well, we're doing it a little early, as the Haitian Mental Awareness Day in the city of North Miami, we hope to raise awareness and to encourage individuals, particular members of the Haitian community, to seek help and to support when needed. Now, therefore, in conclusion, by Mayor and Council and on behalf of the City of North Miami and our residents, do hereby declare Haitian Mental Awareness Day.
Good evening. Good evening. All right. So listen, this is very important work that we're doing, and I thank the Vice Mayor and the councils for really acknowledging the importance of mental health and wellness. And I mention it that way because I want us to make sure that we understand that there's always a path to wellness and not to just get focused on mental health. Our goal and our aim is to reduce the stigma associated with mental health. And in all communities, we deal with this issue. We're dealing with this issue even more now after the advent of COVID because there are a lot of stressors that people are facing. Job insecurities, healthcare issues, housing issues. There are a lot of things that we're dealing with within this community that this commission is working hard to try to address on a daily basis. So I want to make sure that we come out on Thursday at the Scott Galvin Community Center, make sure that we come up and really learn a little bit about it. So let me say this, mental health illness is an equal opportunity disorder. So no matter what your income bracket is, no matter where your zip code is, everyone that's in this room can be impacted, is impacted by it. As a clinician, our diagnostic tool is the DSM-5. And I know personally that in the DSM-5, what we use to diagnose people, everyone in this room, I can find something in here to diagnose you with in that DSM-5, including myself. All right? So that's why it's important. If you know someone who's struggling, can't get out of bed, they're just struggling with depression, if you know someone that's struggling with anxiety, if you know someone that just seems stressed out, any of those things, invite them, that's all of us, right? Invite them to come watch this film, and most importantly, participate in the dialogue. This showing of the film is going to have a particular intent to addressing issues in the Haitian community. So this is vitally important. For those of us in the Caribbean, I'm Bahamian, so you know there's a lot of machismo, right? You don't want to admit that something is wrong. Most men, the women carry the weight on their shoulders in silence. And while we're suffering in silence, then things happen to us physiologically. You know, we suffer from high blood pressure, we suffer from diabetes, strokes, and that sort of thing. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that this is a very important issue. I hope that you guys come out, as I said, on Thursday at the Scott Galvin Center, watch the film, and then participate in the discussion. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy, and we know throughout the month, like Mayor stated earlier, we're celebrating several heritage. And in North Miami, we've had a month-long celebration for Haitian Heritage Month Committee. Normally, I don't read all of the proclamation, but today is a special day that I do want to take a personal privilege and read majority of the proclamation. At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Curly Thais up. She is one of the core members of the Haiti women's soccer team. And the proclamation states that the Haiti women's soccer team became the second Caribbean team to qualify for the FIFA Senior Women's World Cup Tournament, February 22, 2023. This is the first time in Haiti's history that this team has qualified for the Women's World Cup, beating Chile in a 2-1 in the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff, whereas the Haiti's women's soccer team have secured their spot in Group D and will face England, Denmark, and China in Australia this summer during the Women's FIFA World Cup, and will be held in Australia and New Zealand from July 20th to August 20th. Whereas the team's win sparked a nationwide jubilation across Haiti at a time when the country is facing gang violence and that we haven't seen in decades, coupled with several other issues that the country is facing. But today is a moment of celebration. And today, during Haitian Heritage Month, we would like to proclaim today, May 23rd, 2023, as the Haiti Women's Soccer National Team. And today we have Ms. Curly Thais, who has been a member of the team for over 10 years. And she's only 24 years old. And she will be receiving the proclamation on behalf of the team as they're preparing to be sent off this June to Australia. So let's give them a big round of applause. It is an honor to have you here with us.
Bonsoir. Ok. Et avant, moi, je voulais exprimer pour moi dire merci et pour l'invitation avec tout le monde. Et merci à North Miami. Et
I'm just going to summarize up to this point because I missed the part. There was some talking. So she says thank you to everyone, the city of North Miami.
ok, pour l'invitation dans moi, et dans moi ouvertement ça, et patrimoine haïtien. En tant
For
que-
inviting her to this celebration here that we're having today for the honor and pride of Haiti.
En tant que résident du nord de Miami, et
As
je
a
peux-
resident of North Miami,
ok, moi qu'a dit ville ça moi fournit ressources illimitées et sorry.
has given her unlimited this city has given her unlimited resources.
Ok, et m'a dit merci et ensemble avec tout le monde qui t'a invité moi yo et moi vraiment content là et merci pour plaque ça. Et
I'd like to say thank you to everyone who invited me here today, and thank you for this plaque, this proclamation.
et me crois toute équipe là content et recevoir prime ça dans North Miami. Et l'aimerais ba nouvelle là et puis après et plaque là parce que ça fait au plaisir parce que
The entire team is going to be, I'm sorry. The entire team is going to be happy when I tell them about this and this award that we've received.
et ça montre que yo pas pour compte yo les au souterrain, ça montre que yo gon public derrière yo et ça ba au plus force pour yo continuer bataille pour continuer représenter pays hein, même avec tout l'autre haïtien qu'a fait.
It'll show them that they're not by themselves on the field, that they have an entire community of people who are behind them, an entire community of people who support them, and that'll encourage them to go further and continue on in the game.
Et pour me finir, m'a dit nous pour nous toujours supporter nous parce que nous besoin support tout le monde et dans n'importe côté mon yo ya et parce que n'importe geste ça peut aider nous yon boîte bravo parler de nous-mêmes et encourager nous sur réseau yo et ça permet de nous faire plus toujours et nous pas le faire plus parce que mondial là c'est pour très bientôt et geste
So
ça
we're
veut-
asking everyone, comme ça oublié comme là. We're asking everyone to please continue supporting us, to support us in whatever way that you can, because we would appreciate it a lot, even if it's just to give us some applause, a round of applause, to give us a pat on the back, to come to our games, to share, to talk about us and share information about what we're doing.
et dans notre toute équipe là m'a dit non merci et nous allons continuer briller.
On
Merci.
behalf of the team, we'd like to say thank you, and we're going to continue praying. Just a quick moment of privilege. I really do encourage you all to go to the soccer games. I've attended some of the games. It's really inspiring to see what they're doing, so we do encourage you all to talk to Pat Santangelo, who's back there, who can give you some information on the dates and the calendar.
Tracy.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. I'm Tracy Pollock, presenting the following announcements on behalf of the City of North Miami. Enjoy North Miami's library story time featuring a guest speaker every Wednesday from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. during Haitian Heritage Month. Tomorrow's guest speaker is Vice Mayor Mary Estime Irving. Miss Haiti International is the special guest on Wednesday, May 31st. Later that evening, North Miami Public Library will continue its CompuClad dance classes at 6:30 p.m. The next two classes are tomorrow and Wednesday, May 31st. Space is limited to RSVP. Call the library at 305-891-5535. As mentioned earlier, join us for a screening of the powerful mental health documentary, Hush, which stands for Help Us Say Help, followed by a panel discussion with mental health experts on Thursday, May 25th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Scott Galvin Community Center. This Friday, May 26th, is filled with a little something for everyone. From 6 to 7 p.m., join MoCA for a Teen Art Force fashion show and art exhibit. The students will showcase their design and couture skills, as well as showcase their artwork at an exhibit at One World Gallery. Visit MoCA's website for details. After the art show, stick around for an unforgettable evening of jazz at MoCA beginning 8 p.m. The monthly event will feature a local Haitian American saxophonist in recognition of Haitian Heritage Month. Now, if you want a few good laughs that Friday night, just travel around the corner to North Miami Senior High School for North Miami's Haitian Heritage Month comedy show with Haitian comedian Success Jr. and friends beginning at 7:30 p.m. To purchase tickets, visit Nomi Haiti Haitian Comedy Show.eventbrite.com. Then on Monday, May 29th, the city's focus turns to our nation's fallen heroes in recognition of Memorial Day. The city will host a special recognition Memorial Day ceremony beginning 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial at Griffin Park. Please note that the City of North Miami administrative offices are closed on Monday, May 29th, in observance of Memorial Day. So consider spending that time with the city at the memorial event. Then Thursday, June 8th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library, join Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy as she recaps accomplishments during her second year in office with a State of the District Town Hall meeting. For parents and grandparents seeking summertime activities for their young ones, consider North Miami Parks and Recreation Department's summer camp that will keep them active, engaged, and entertained all summer long. Camps are held Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. For details and registration information, call Parks and Rec at 305-895-9840. The annual Atlantic hurricane season is June 1st to November 30th, with storm formation around Florida by mid-May. Get notifications about emergencies such as severe weather, road closures, evacuations, as well as important community news and events by signing up for NOMI Alert. Register today at northmiamifl.gov/NOMI Alert. To stay up to date with NOMI news and events, log on to North Miami's website at northmiamifl.gov. Click on Connect with NOMI on the homepage to sign up for the city's newsletters. Also follow the city on Facebook and Instagram at North Miami FL and on Twitter at NOMI News. This concludes the city's announcements.
Thank you, Tracy. Madam Clerk, any appointments?
Yes. A resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, reappointing Emanuela Fleurimont to the North Miami Commission for Women, the term ending on November 12, 2024, in accordance with Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 13, Section 2-269 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, providing for an effective date and all other purposes.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Mayor Desilme to approve the board appointment, the motion, reappointment. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through E constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A through E be adopted.
So, can I hear a motion? For
So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Tab F, as in Frank.
Tab F, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to execute a memorandum of understanding between the City of North Miami and Love Football, Inc. for the installation of the Love Football pitch and enhancement of services at Cagney Park South, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab F.
Okay, sorry. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Christine Carney, Interim Parks and Recreation Director. Through the City Manager, this item is a short presentation for your authority to enter into an agreement with Love Football to install a soccer mini pitch system at Cagney Park South on one of the basketball courts. Love Football was founded in 2006 and created on a basis of ensuring all youth have the opportunity of a safe place to play, build their passion for the game, and build their passion for the game of soccer. Along with partners ESPN, Rise, and Think Beyond, which is Beyond Sports, have selected North Miami's Cagney Park South to receive a mini pitch system. This current slide shows you the current site for Cagney Park South, the basketball courts, which has 4 basketball courts, fencing, and Musco lighting. The mini pitch features are is a prefabricated system that includes fencing, mini soccer goals, benches for both soccer players and spectators, ADA compliant access, and a storage unit. The system has sport flooring that is customized to our design or our liking and will include lines for football and pickleball. Football, I apologize, is soccer. Sorry. So it's not tackle football. It also includes a 10-year warranty, and it would be installed on one of the existing courts, leaving 3 courts for basketball use and hopefully future pickleball play. This slide shows the timeline of the projected outline for the for the expectations of the project. So project planning, community network, construction, and inauguration, which is also the grand opening, would be completed starting now and would be completed by the end of July, if all weather goes well and things like that take place, and if it is accepted. Love Football has done many projects worldwide, including 4 in the U.S., which have been corrected. It is now 9. Throughout the United States. They have added more since their website was updated, and all across the world. So you see that they've happened in Brazil, Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico, India, and the U.S. The proposed project will be managed through the partnerships with Love Football and the other organizations mentioned. There is a small grant that we would receive for programming of the mini pitch, and through a community build and partnerships with our department overseen by me. That ends my presentation. If you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to ask. We also have a representative from Love Football on a call.
Thank you. Are you done,
I'm
Madam?
done.
Thank you, Madam Connie. The item is now open for public discussion. Seeing none coming, the item is closed. Members of the dais, Madam Timothy, this is your, Commissioner, this is your item. You want to take the first bite of the apple?
Yes, just wanted to thank Ms. Carney for her attention with this matter, and of course, Rasha and the whole entire team. As she stated, North Miami was selected to install this mini pitch system. I do want to note that it does not cost us anything, but staff time. So there's no dollar amount attached to it, so there's no fiscal impact. They are providing a grant for up to $10,000 for programming at the facility to be used, whether it's for soccer or whatever programming. I think one of the big key indicators why this project was so eye-catchy was that they invite the community to come in to help build it. So there's community champions that are selected to build this project. We get volunteers. So the community is almost invested in this project. So their approach to building this mini pitch is one that caught my attention, and I look for your approval.
Any other members of the council? Prior to this item, I know that the manager had mentioned it to me. It's a good concept. I like the idea of the concept of it. My only issue is the notification of the timing. I heard about it maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't know much about the company or changing the structure of one of our parks in terms of what we do. So what happened to the other 3 remaining fields that we have open that's not dressed? Do we have plans on, fixing them, in terms of that? How do we move forward with that, with the entire idea or agreement? Or how did this come about? I know it's 9 different locations. Is that including North Miami, or this would be?
We would be their 10th.
They're 10.
So they've already done 9 throughout the United States, and we would be the 10th city.
Yeah,
or
again,
organization.
my only thing is I'm in supportive of the item, but I think we need a little bit of time. I need to at least see who we're talking to or who is the company. This is the first time. I think you brought it up to me 2 weeks ago, Madam Manager, and today I was, told that it was going to be on the agenda in terms of the company or, the whole history behind it. So I don't have any issues with it, but I would like to at least find some more about the company or who's behind the entire initiatives or.
And
et
I
cetera,
met,
et
I'm
cetera.
sorry, and I probably should have had a sunshine meeting so that if you guys wanted to be a part of it, but I did have the opportunity to meet with the CEO, and we visited the location. Those basketball fields have been really not utilized like they should have been in recent years. The courts are actually in terrible shape. Like, there's no one playing on those courts right now, even on the weekends. So to give it some attention right now, I think was perfect timing, and we are looking for additional funding to resurface the remaining courts, kind of like Keystone was recently resurfaced, and it just kind of gave that area a kind of a facelift that it so desperately needs, because the courts are cracked. They're not even using them right now. So I think that will encourage people to come out, and it's only 1 out of the 4 basketball courts. So there's 4 basketball courts currently at Catney Park South, and it'll be adding a prefabricated pitch to one of them, which will include soccer and pickleball lines. One thing about the lines is that the courts, you can still use it. If you want to refer it back to basketball, you can, and there's pictures that kind of shows you how they do so.
Yeah, I'm not, questioning
And it's ESPN.
the validity
Yeah.
of the, of the project, or who is the maker, or if it could be CNN or MSNBC or Fox. But I think the idea is the courtesy. When the CEO met with you, I think they should have met with all of us in terms of who represent other parts of the city, at least to bring it to our attention. I don't have any issues with the project. My only thing is, I just didn't know anything about it until about 2 weeks I heard about it, and then I was briefed this morning in terms of that. So that's my only hesitation on on the matter.
Would you be open to tabling it and just having them do a presentation in our
Well,
next
they
meeting?
don't live here. They live
They're-
internationally.
They're at
That's
a-
why.
Yeah, they're on
Right.
Zoom. We have.
Yeah, someone's on the phone.
They're on
Right,
Zoom.
but is it possible that, just same way that you had an opportunity to meet them, is there an opportunity for someone to meet us before June 13th at least?
No, it's open. Like, I didn't know that was, when the city manager first started, this was like, brought to her attention so that we can get it moved along. And we kind of went back and forth about, do we bring it before council? Can she do it administratively? So I thought in those process, when we were preparing to bring it to council, that's when the briefing, when we asked questions, if you guys want to meet with the company, should have been availed to you guys. I'm sorry if it wasn't.
No, that's fine. I said, perhaps the next one is in 2 weeks. If we, just to talk to the company, that's my only,
So
thing. Go ahead.
Mayor,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The challenge, again, is because when I came in March and catching up on everything, exactly what Christine said is because it's a structural change of what the park is and the
I
investment they're
understand.
making on it, it's not something I could have done administratively, but they are on a tight schedule, right? And because they want to make sure that we give them enough leeway to bring their subcontractors and do the work. I guess the options are, are you considering to postpone it till the next meeting for them to come?
That
Or
was
would
my,
you mind?
no, they don't need to come.
opening
I just think
or-
that I personally, and I don't know if other members, just need to know a little bit more about the company or about the research that you guys had or the opportunity or the question that other members may have had that I have the same opportunity to ask the company, whatever the case is. We still have 3 other field that or structures that's not changed, which is our responsibility, from my understanding, in terms of that. And I'm pretty sure this hasn't started in a month when you got here. So I'm pretty sure this must have been some previous conversation. Why? I'm just telling you, I found out 2 weeks ago. So that's just the bottom line. And last week, you told me about it during our first meeting, and this week, I was just told that it was on the agenda, is going to be voting. So that's my only thing. I don't have any issue.
Yeah, the only thing is that, like, what we're saying, there is a very tight crunch line that we're trying to get, that they're trying to get it completed. If we could move this along, and if there is any issues, that we can bring it back on the 13th. I don't know if you wanted to say something else, Madam.
Well, no,
Member.
I was actually going to ask if you would allow us to, because again, we're going through the process, it's the agreement and so on, allow us, approve it, and we will have the company, the bodies, the members come and meet with you all individually. The issue is, if we delay it, in terms of construction and permitting and so on and so forth, they won't be able to meet the July deadline to launch it and do the kickoff for the program to be successful. So that-
Just to be
according
clear-
this is June 20th, is their first thing.
No, it'll be completed by July because the system already, they're having an issue with trucking delays right now. So they're hoping to, once this can be signed, they can get the system on the truck to be delivered to the city in order to get it installed by July in times for Parks and Rec month. So.
if I may, I like the concept, and I expressed that to Madam Manager in our meeting in yesterday in my briefing. I'm just ready to be a co-sponsor.
Oh,
so I'm like
please.
very in support of it. However, my concern is that what are we going to do with the other field? Because we cannot bring a brand new, nice looking pitch like that and then the other field just the way they are. So that is my main concern, and I don't know how we can address that. And Madam Manager, Ms. Carney.
I assume we will make it a priority in our budget, upcoming budget cycle.
But there's some funding that we found with a housing study that I was able to cut, so we can repurpose some of that $50K that was set aside for that housing study to get this going, so that we can resurface the remaining courts at the same time, so it's not left dilapidated. Another thing
it
that I
is in
wanted
the
to mention, that June 1st is hurricane season, so they're also, pressing upon us if we can move quickly. I just wanted to make that mention, like, construction delays happen even more during the summertime with rain and so forth. But this is over, $50,000 of equipment and services that
Yeah,
we're
I don't
getting.
think the money is I think the issue that I'm having tonight is more with the administration in terms of how did this get that far, and we just finding about it like 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior to something this major that's about to change the scope of one of our field. It doesn't matter who's paying for it, how much they paying. I think it's a lack of respect, a lack of better words, in terms of when we're dealing with this. Because I found out about it about 3 weeks ago. The issue is once something happened in somebody else's area, whatever the case is, the calls just keep coming or the emails. So if I don't know anything or I'm blindsided or any other people getting calls, oh, we don't know, then we're gonna have to ask, administration, what's going on at CAGNY, or what's happening. So I think those are
that's probably a question
and
for
I
the
don't think the
administration.
project is the
But I
issue.
think, for me, I think what I was more comfortable with, knowing that it's not the entire, it's one out of the 4 basketball courts. Like, we still have 3 basketball courts that will be repaved in time for this project. So it'll just give that area a much-needed facelift, because there's no TLC right now on those courts. We were there over the weekend, and there was 1 child playing on the court. And it's just an area where, in Miami-Dade County, I know the mayor also recently announced all these mini pitches that are happening throughout. So it's good for North Miami to get one as well.
Councilman, we
I
have.
was
we
going to
have
say,
another
I
agenda.
totally agree with project like it, et cetera, but those basketball courts are super used on weeknights.
Yes.
So I don't know what time of day you were there to say they only saw 1 kid, but just, no problem with it. I just want to put it out there. It's not like those basketball courts aren't used. So there you go. That's all I got.
So would you mind?
I would request if
Council-
we can move forward with it, so I'd like to make a motion that we approve the item. And if there is any concerns with the council, Madam Manager, you can bring it back and address it at the next council meeting.
But could you give us an opportunity to meet with them and just start fast tracking? I'm in support. I don't have an issue, but I would like to just meet them.
No,
and have,
they're
personal-
accessible, and like I said, like I apologize. Well, I know I can't, say, hey, meet with my colleagues. That's through the city manager.
You could tell them.
Yeah, no,
hey,
it's just
you
through
have to
the city
meet with
manager.
them.
Like, I know we've been working on it, and
So, since we have a long meeting, I think, Vice Mayor, perhaps your point,
I wanted
is
to
it
make a
the-
motion, if we could.
Was there a second?
There's no second? Oh, well, then I guess if there's no consensus from the board, then I can wait till next meeting, unless there
Right.
is.
next meeting, I'm okay
Yeah, I'm
with.
good
Are we
with
good?
next meeting.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table it until our
Okay.
next meeting.
Okay. And I can second that. And if we could still work as though it's approved, so that once we just get our conversation going,
Well,
it just
she's not gonna
goes.
be able to sign it until
But they, if they're watching, they hear the intent that we're not opposed to
they
it.
need it signed. That's
Oh.
why.
So there's a deadline for it to be signed today? When's the deadline? When is the signature needed?
Well, it's just going to push the project back maybe now until August or
Why?
September.
2 weeks would make that difference?
Well, right now, we're trying to get it to July 27th. So it will probably push it back another 2 weeks, because then that's when it'll be signed.
When school open?
School
End of
ends
August.
or opens? You said
End of
Mid-August.
It ends
June
first
8th.
week of June, and it begins like the last week of August.
August,
So we were
like
hoping-
17th.
Yeah, August 17th, so. We're trying to get it in time for the summertime.
Madam Clerk?
I heard a motion to approve made by Timothy, but it failed for lack of second.
We'll come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
come back
then
in
I
2 weeks.
have a motion, I have to restate it for the minutes, so.
Councilman
If that's okay.
motioned to table it to next week. Franz.
Correct. And I have a motion from Councilman Charles to table the item until next council meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
No, we're at F.
Oh, top F. Tab F.
Tab G, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city attorney to take all legal action necessary, including initiating any and all litigation in law or in equity to collect outstanding balances on the past due utility accounts listed on Exhibit A, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab G.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. We've had this discussion internally several times now. This is just a resolution authorizing the city attorney's office to initiate actions to collect on certain water, sewer, and stormwater accounts. Currently, the city has 10,168 delinquent water, sewer, and stormwater accounts. Those amount to $13,160,932. Where we prepared a list, which you can see in the exhibit as Exhibit A. I believe there's 17 multifamily units that account for probably $7 million or so of past due water bills. So we're asking the city council give us the authority to go ahead and take action to collect on that, up to and including litigation against these buildings.
Wait, I thought we were. You coming back with the check for us, or you haven't sent the check, the letters yet?
What check were you talking about, sir?
No, the letter.
collection.
We had already agreed to this. No.
Well, yeah, as I said, we've talked individually. We've talked as a group at the last retreat, but I still need a public discussion and a vote to allow me to file
You ready?
litigation.
Public hearing is open on tab G. Public hearing is open on tab G. Public hearing is now closed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, just one question. For staff, question for staff. These bills in arrears are approximately how old? How many years has this been building?
They go back quite a while, but I believe I'll look back. I believe it's 4 years or 5 years. We can only go back 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So this
But I
only
believe they go
covers
bi-
what's built up over the last 4 to 5 years?
Yeah, I believe. I think it's. I can't remember if it's 4 or 5, but it's 4 or 5 years. But the list goes back further than that.
Gotcha.
So there's a time frame, if I ask a question, that we can go back?
Yeah, there's a time frame for any type of litigation.
Even if
statute
they
of
didn't pay their
limitations.
water bill.
There's a statute of limitations for every action in the state of Florida.
Oh my God. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's my only
Thank
question.
you. And now public hearing is closed. I think we have a second, and the item is moved in second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Mayor Desame. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Tab H.
A proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, North Miami CRA Plan Update 2023, authorizing the city manager to take all action necessary to facilitate the approval of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Plan Update 2023 by Miami-Dade County, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab H.
Move for approval.
Second.
After public hearing. Public hearing is open on tab H. See none coming. Public hearing is closed. Mike, are you coming up? No. Okay, Mike is not. Public hearing is closed.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin to approve the item at tab H. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Tab I.
Tab I, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement and lease in substantially the attached form between the city of North Miami as landlord and Redwood CP Dev LLC as tenant for the vacant and undeveloped portion of the city-owned property located at 1525 Northwest 135th Street, specifically identified with folio number 06-2123-000-0050, along with associated air rights for a term of 99 years, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab I.
We have the air rights, or they have the air rights? She just read. Air rights. This is H. Public hearing is now open on tab I. Public hearing is now open. And there's 2 mics. If you plan on speaking on any of the items, there are 2 mics. SB, oh, you got it? Restart. Okay.
Go, Sarah McDevitt, 14490 Northeast 10th Avenue. I'm just here to speak in favor of parks. This space has long been promised to the community as a recreation space. It's owned by our city and has been, I think, for many members of the community, a place that we've all envisioned as a space for joining together, for playing sports, for having open space. As our community continues to see increased density along our corridors that have been designed for density, the need for parks is going to become ever more important. We do not currently have many sports activities for kids available in our community. We have a real lack when it comes to field space. We have a real lack when it comes to open walking spaces and park spaces for our community. We don't have a dog park in our city, save for one. These spaces are precious, rare spaces that we cannot afford to turn over to developers. There's many other spaces in our community that we can incentivize development, and I just would hope that we do not continue to lose our open spaces to development. Thank you.
Hi, Deborah Davies, 1165 Northeast 127th Street. Until now, the city has promised the community that this park space would be developed as a park. Of course, we need housing too, but it does not have to be at the expense of our very limited park space, as parks are essential to a healthy community. This land is large enough to include soccer and baseball fields, walking trails, and passive spaces, all of which our city is sorely lacking. As you know, we don't have Cagney Park anymore. Once land is handed over to developers, we will never recover this desperately needed park space. Paving over more of our green park space will have dire consequences for local impacts of the climate crisis and flood management, as well as for both the physical and mental health of our community, from our children to the elderly. I've heard council members, especially you, Councilwoman Estime Irvin in particular, talking about mental health this month, but you can't have it both ways. If you really care about our mental health, then please don't take away our parks and turn our city into an unlivable concrete jungle. If you want to build a livable, vibrant city that people will really want to live, play, and work in, which is your theme, I'm asking you please to vote no on this. Thank you.
Hello, Karen Dillio, 1935 South Hibiscus Drive. I support the 2 ladies that spoke before me, and I would just like to add that research does show the more money you put into parks and recreation, the less money you need to put into police. I'd love to see our city have that as our focus for our next generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is open on the item still. Seeing none coming, public hearing is closed on the item. Members of the council, Councilman Galvin Timothy.
Is there no staff presentation on this? And
I can read the memo into the record if you'd like. The lease term is for 99 years with one additional 99-year term. There is a timeline that's attached to the package for the developer to get the zoning approval and the park improvement and to start the construction, which would take them to April 2024 to start the work. If they need an extension due to unforeseen circumstances or in the process of getting the zoning approval, there's a clause for an extension. And it's 1 year, and they would have to give us $100,000, and then there's an additional 280-day extension with another payment of $100,000 each. The agreement has a community benefits package. They will fund a nonprofit organization, Pepper Park Foundation, to fund and support youth activities at the park. They would be putting $50,000 a year for 10 years for a total of $500,000 towards those activities. They're also going to donate $1 million to the city towards programs for the community, such as the utilities, food pantry, et cetera. That payment is tied to construction phases. So as they're meeting their benchmarks, they will release the funds to help the community. Additionally, they're supposed to do the parks improvements of all of Pepper Park, and also Joe Celestine Center adding a 200 seating banquet hall. After the 11th year, which after they would be done with all the construction, then they would start paying rent for $100,000 a year on the 11th year for the rest of the term of the lease.
Okay, a couple quick questions, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, go ahead.
How, as I understand it, before they can start working on the housing development, they have to finish the works, the improvement on the Pepper Park side of things.
They will be doing it simultaneously. So
Okay.
once they get the zoning approvals and so on and so forth, then they're going to work on the parks improvements and the first tower, which would be a senior apartment complex for seniors at the same time. So they're going to be doing the improvements simultaneously.
Tower 1 only, though, not towers 2 and 3, I think, from what I saw on the site plan. There's others to the further west that will not be developed at that first moment. Is that right?
Well, the developers here, if you have any additional questions,
that's
but.
if I may, if you look at it, they got it, they broke it down into phases. So on phase 1, that's where they're gonna start doing the improvement in the parks. By the way, they will be spending about 14 million into Pepper Park, and to make it very nice for all of us in the city of North Miami to come. And even if you at the east side, you will want to come down to the west side and look at it. That would be phase 1, and that will go together with the senior housing.
So
That's phase 1.
So if I might think again, say phase 1 will shoot, my tongue is all tied today. Phase 1 will consist of development of senior affordable workforce housing, workforce affordable housing for seniors.
Seniors,
Senior
yes.
citizens.
The seniors, the first tower will be for seniors.
First tower, that's part of phase 1. Also part of phase 1 is the full improvement to Pepper Park and the Joe Celestine Community Center.
That's what they said, yes. And
So
then as
for-
they're doing it, if they do the first tower quickly, then I guess they would do the,
How
Excellent.
how many acres is Pepper Park / Joe Celestine? Anybody know off the top of their head?
Yes, it's supposed to be, by the time they added, if you add the Joe Celestine Center, it's about 14.
I was gonna
to
say, I thought it
15
was
units.
13. Okay, so you're getting up front first, full redo of a 13-acre park, along with the construction of some homes for seniors. For those of you who are standing up and applauding and saying we want parks, to
Yeah,
me,
I want
that's fantastic for parks. I just wanted to make sure that I got on the record that we're not doing the development
No.
first and then coming back and maybe someday doing the park, because what was stated about Cagney Park is accurate. That was a failure of all of us here, me sitting on this dais, that we are still 10 years later and still waiting for Cagney Park. Scott Galvin failed you. We're not going to make that failure again. You're going to get these parks first, followed by the development. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
glad I got the chance to stick around long enough for the new Cagney Park, which is coming. But I just wanted to get that out there, for some of my constituents. The parks are coming first.
Yes, sir. There's,
That was the only question I had. I just
David,
was making a statement more than asking questions. I just wanted to lay it out there, make it super clear, the parks are coming first.
David, your name for the record and your address?
David Burston, 19971 Northeast 39th Place, Aventura, Florida, 33180.
So
Oh,
I
think-
just,
Go ahead.
no.
Oh, you had
Yeah,
something?
right. So just want to put on record and thank you, Councilman Galvin, for pointing that out. You know, I heard a mention of Cagney. We're not on Cagney. I just want to reassure you that Cagney, the new Cagney is going to be in District 3, and there's not a week that goes by that we're not getting updates on what's going on and a serious talk because, you know, I said under my watch, we will have Cagney and we will have it soon. We've had a couple of presentations where we had to rethink it and to make sure that we, you know, rethink it to make it possible to have. So I want to say that. Also, I want to highlight again that the park will be improved on this project because I was singled out. Personally, I am definitely a proponent of parks. That's why I'm definitely renovating the parks in my district. Bree Swept. That's also a topic that comes up every week as well. So I just wanted to just put that on the record as well.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So my question during briefing, I'll just kind of mention them today, was from my understanding that we do not have a folio number yet for this, for the, I guess the parts that's not what it's going to be developed on. So there's going to be a
If you look at the
replatting.
agreement, there is an exhibit that makes it clear which portion is being developed. I mean, again, all that will be taken care of afterwards.
Yeah, it's the land that's not. My question is, you're requesting, where's the number? The developer's requesting 1,500 units. Is that, if that number changes, does the improvement to the park changes as well?
The commitment to the park is still the same.
Name-
Robert Holland with offices at 3250 Northeast First Avenue, Miami, Florida.
So-
The commitment to the park remains the same.
Okay, so in the CUP process, if we decide to change the height or remove some units, the commitment to the parks will still remain the same?
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to have that on record.
Okay, thank you. Councilman? go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you, everyone. As we know, Pepper Park will be improved, and the soccer field will be there, baseball field will be there, and it is my hope that I live long enough to see all these improvements. If you remember, the west side of JCC, the Jocelyn Center, this spot has been used as a dumping site for the longest. It is ugly. It is not something we can live to. I understand that we need more green space, but also understand we need a good place to house our elders, our seniors. And this project, this is the first part that this project will take on. I do believe it is a win-win for the city. It will just, to me, it's just a beginner because we are going to have at least a balance where we're going to start with something that we can live for in the city of North Miami, at least on the west side. To that, I just want to say thank you to all of you, to all my colleagues, as the District 4 councilman, and I hope that you're all going to move along with me as I ask you to support this item, and I ask that we move this for approval.
Thank you, Councilman.
Second.
Yes, I just have a few remarks. I think Councilman Galvin mentioned some of them, but this has been a ongoing process between the city and the developers. And I guess the entire community, when we started this maybe three and a half years ago, in the vision that we had at that time, we wanted to do something of special for the residents of District 4. And I prayed that we found something that folks from anywhere would be proud of, and the residents of the area would feel a sense of dignity and pride. And what I saw in this item couple months ago, it's funny how this thing is moving so fast. when it was presented and when we voted on it, and I do think the colleagues, and I think we made the best decision at that time and everything that was presented. No, we are not losing park space. We are, one of the first thing when we started this, and I was very adamant and very firm about this, was we need a state-of-the-art park for North Miami, and we got that. We needed some other stuff, and I wanted to thank Jeff and I know Rasha, but the previous management, but Rasha came here real fast as they, as this was coming towards concluding this contract along with Jeff. And I think they got one of the best contract that we have seen. There are some stuff I wanted to ask Jeff just to make sure that they are proper or they are part of the agreement. I wanted a management company that is report to us, that's in between, and I spoke to the developer, they were okay with that on record. Can we make sure that that is part of the contract that's added?
We have no problem working with the management to make sure that happens.
Thank you, sir. And again, the pre-commencement schedule, Jeff, is that between now and until they start constructing, or that could be, or is there a date when we could go back and say, well, you missed a year, referring to the penalties Rasha was speaking about? When is the project supposed to kick off?
April 2024, if all goes well.
If all goes well.
In terms of
But groundbreaking.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is, would we consider between now and April 24th pre-construction phase, that, would that be the pre-commencement phase, or? That's the David?
Yeah, so it says the pre-commencement period
Yeah.
is the period from the effective date. That's the date the agreement is signed.
Okay,
through the
whatever
commencement-
date.
Through the commencement date.
Got it, okay. All right, my next question would be, I think I had another question about the $100,000 that they will give us if they choose. How long do they have? Because I don't want the money, per se. If next year comes, they want to move it.
You don't hear Alex say that very often.
So they get
That point.
1 year, first year, they give us 100,000, and then they have 2 180-day extensions in addition to that.
Oh,
For
okay.
another 100. So it's like, it would be like 2.5
months, so that's
years.
6 months?
2.5 years.
Oh, that's too long.
At 100, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
it would be
know.
for
So what can we
300,000,
do,
right?
guys? What can we work out?
But that's like the worst case scenario.
I
per
know,
se.
but I don't want, I want it to be. a
Well,
little bit-
here's why you probably won't have access to that money anyway, to be honest
No,
with
we're
you.
not talking about the
No,
money,
I'm
but the
joking.
time start.
Yeah, the reason, we're ready to get going.
Okay.
And so it's a matter of now, once we get the entitlements and approval from you guys, it gives us a chance now to go start doing the other work with the architect, the engineers, and everything else, to start moving things quickly, to start filing for permits. There's a process we have to go through with your permitting department and all the other stuff, but we're ready to go.
Okay.
So we don't think
Zoning.
there's gonna be any delays.
is-
Yeah,
Is-
zoning
That's
is
what I
the-
was
It's
gonna,
not.
is that, and that's coming before, yes, so, okay. Never mind. Then, but my question would be again, so you have up to 160, so 6 months, kind of, in a way. I'm hearing from Rasha, 180-day extension. And
1 year before, 1 year, and then 2
Yes, I got the
180-day
1 year.
extensions.
Okay, but you say 2.5 years, so that'd be a year and a half, right? 180. That's 2 years? Oh, God, my math is bad. That's
But it all moves faster if we, in fact, if you wanted to, one thing you could add to the agreement is if there was a way of expediting the process on behalf of, on the city side.
Oh, it's us.
That helps
We
us.
don't hold up.
We can move even quicker.
We'll make sure we do what we do. Yeah, it's a late. Yeah. Okay, I was trying to push it to get it a little bit sooner, but never mind. Thank you. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item at tab I. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
All right, congratulations. That's Mr. Cuny, Ben,
Tab J.
the whole team is out here.
Tab J, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the
Excuse me,
city.
Madam Clerk, hold
Yes.
on. Thank you, let them leave first. Thank you. Alberto, you leaving with them too? Oh, he's coming. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Tab J, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue purchase orders to Allied Universal Corporation for a one-year term in the aggregate amount not to exceed $107,000 for the purchase and delivery of liquid sodium hypochlorite for the Winson Water Treatment Plant, utilizing Martin County RFB number 2019-3133, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab J.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members, Alberto Estrade, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you under tab J is simply a request for your approval, the second renewal of the city's contract with Allied Universal Corporation, and this is for the purchase and delivery of liquid sodium hypochlorite, which is an ingredient that is essential and used at the city's water treatment plant. The second renewal is for a not-to-exceed amount of $107,000, and it has staff's recommendation for your approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Public hearing? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Public hearing? And I see none. Public hearing closed.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab J. The motion was seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Yes, tab K?
Tab K, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing change orders to the existing professional services agreement between the city of North Miami and BLDM USA LLC for additional services for the rehabilitation of wastewater pump station A project in an amount not to exceed $308,384.41 pursuant to invitation for bid number 55-20-21, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab K.
Move for approval.
Second.
Oh, my God. Are we letting the public speak? Public hearing closed.
My apologies.
No, it's Mary. Public hearing closed.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab K. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
L?
Tab L, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate an amendment to the agreement between the city of North Miami and DRC Emergency Services LLC to include additional services for the removal and disposal of sargassum from the city's canals at an additional cost not to exceed $100,000, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab L.
Move for approval.
Guys, please, the public hearing open on the item.
Is there a second?
Yes, I
Yes,
second.
we have the homeowners coming to.
Karen,
Hi,
Karen. 1935 South Hibiscus Drive. Anything you can help, I know the people that live on the water would appreciate. I don't know that there's an answer, but we really appreciate you guys taking the time on this. The health hazards related to sargassum apparently are, they're universal, so there's no specific person that would be vulnerable, but there is a health issue involved. So thank you.
Thank you. And it's our understanding it's getting worse, Councilman, this year?
Yeah, no, it's the blob that's headed toward the United States, and it's not a North Miami only thing. The blob is over 5,000 miles long and over 10 million tons. It's a lot of sargassum. Like Karen just said, this won't be a be-all and end-all for it. This is one of the results of sea level rise. This will be an issue every year going forward. So this is our short-term plan, and thanks to everybody who came to town hall that we hosted on it. Short-term, we're going to use the aquagator to pick up and scoop and remove. Long-term, we're going to look at some other more expensive options But this is a great start to at least this year make sure we have some sort of plan in place. So thank you for supporting the item if you do.
Thank you. And hearing, public hearing is now closed. I think there's a second for the item. If not, I'll second the item.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item at tab L. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Tab M is a quasi.
Tab M is a quasi-judicial item. If you plan to speak on this item and you have not already done so, please grab a public speaker's card in the back of the room and complete it, and then bring it up here once you're done. Please be advised that the following item on the agenda is quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to speak in favor of, object to, or comment on this item, please complete a public speaker's card indicating the agenda item number on which you would like to comment. You must be sworn before addressing the City Council, and you may be subject to cross-examination. If you refuse to submit to cross-examination, the City Council will not consider your comments in its final deliberation. Please also disclose any ex parte communications you may have had with any members of the City Council. City Council members must do the same. Thank you. If you plan on speaking on this item, please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. Or you could just say "I do" at the very end. That'll be easier. All right. I swear. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give in these proceedings are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Once again, if you have not already done so, please complete a public speaker's card for this item.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to disclose ex parte communications with the applicant.
Same here. I also met with the applicant.
Any other disclosure?
I've met with the applicant and the residents.
I also met with the applicant.
Okay. I haven't, I didn't meet with the applicant. I talked to a couple, I spoke to one owner over the phone, and I spoke to a couple of residents. There's nobody wanted to meet with me. Pedro, it's okay, it's all good. Are we ready, Derek?
Almost, Mr. Mayor.
We can start public hearing.
If you have public speaker cards, you could just bring them up here.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Madam Clerk, we're ready to proceed.
Sorry, I was dealing with speaker cards that aren't filled out. A proposed quasi-judicial resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the site plan for a 53-unit luxury residential development comprised of a 10-story building with basement parking, with 110 parking spaces and 4 surface parking spaces on approximately 1.13 acres of real property located at 2305 Northeast 123rd Street, and specifically identified with Miami-Dade folio number 06-2228-022-0010, and bounded by the Northeast 123rd Street to the south, North Bayshore Drive to the west, and Biscayne Bay to the north and east, in accordance with Article 2, Division 7, Section 2-701, and Article 3, Division 2, Section 3-204, through Section 3-206 and Article 3, Division 3, Section 3-302 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, providing for an effective date and all other purposes, tab M.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Through the City Manager, Derek Cook, the Director of Community Planning and Development. The item that we have before you is a site plan approval as stated by the Honorable City Clerk. The request is approximately located at 2305 Northeast 123rd Street. If I may take the opportunity to bring some clarity, doing the posting of the report, there was some information that was incorporated in that report that was inaccurate, and I apologize to the city manager and to the community for that information that was put in there, speaking about a restaurant and off-site parking, which is not a part of this application at all. And I also apologize to the applicant that information was incorporated into the report. And I just want to make it clear that that is not a part of this application in any capacity. Thank you for your patience and understanding regarding the matter. Continuing, the property is approximately 1.13 acres, which is 49,042 square feet. The property is zoned BZ, multifamily designated Bay Shore zone on the Flume map, with a maximum height of 115 feet in the zoning district, with a density of 100 units per acre. The Flume and zoning map change occurred from R4 low medium density residential on September the 27th of 2022 via ordinance of 1488 and ordinance of 1489. The project itself consists of a 10-story building, approximately 110 feet, with 53 units, a residential condo building, with 4 surface parking spaces and 110 below-grade parking spaces. The property will be LEED or National Equivalent Green Building. Declaration of a restriction that the applicant has proffered to accept is limiting the height to 110 feet and a density of 54 units maximum at the site. No construction traffic on North Bay Shore Drive, no roof signage, which is not allowed in the city anyway. No balcony on the north or northwest portion of the building. Bay Walk open to the public Monday through Saturday from sunrise to sunset, and community benefit agreement, which the applicant will get in their presentation. The property went through the Development Review Committee, that is the site plan. The Development Review Committee looked at this, and on May the 12th, through the technical review of the project, they approved the project with several conditions. One of the conditions is to provide a letter of map amendment from FEMA redesignating the property from AE or redesign the property to meet the requirements of the current flood zone of VE. Install 10-foot wide sidewalks along northeast 123rd frontage and 6-foot wide sidewalks along Bayshore Drive frontage. Provide proof of LEED or equivalent certification prior to the certificate of occupancy, and all utilities must be installed underground. Obtain of a certificate of use and business tax receipt. Apply for a building permit by November the 23rd of 2024. That's the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Public, do you have a presentation?
I do have a presentation, but I can wait for the public to speak first if you like, and do my presentation at the end if it's more convenient for the council.
You can go ahead and do your presentation first. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
While we wait, City Manager, wanted to ask Derek a question. Are all utilities required to be installed underground for all new development, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay, just wanted to, thank you.
Good evening. Pedro Gasson of Holland & Knight with offices at 701 Brickell Avenue. I am joined this evening by my colleague Alessandria San Romain. I'm also joined by representatives of the related group, Andrew Chesnick, Pedro Snell, as well as the co-developer Isaac Toledano. I'm also joined by representatives of our illustrious architectural team, Paul Del Canal and Rudolph Uleman from the landscape team. I am going to try to be very brief with respect to this presentation tonight, recognizing that you have had a very long agenda. There are really going to be 3 main points that I want to focus on tonight.
The first is that everything that we promised you during the land use and the zoning stage of this process has been complied with. So the second thing is that this site plan that we are coming before you with has no variances, completely complies with your code, and has no issues. And the third thing is that for 53 units, we are providing nearly $1 million in direct contribution for parks, for workforce housing, and a variety of improvements to the bridge for Keystone. Next slide, please. You all know where this property is. You know the location. I don't need to belabor that point. It's 1.13 acres. Next slide, please. You know what this property looks like. We know the dilapidated condition that it's been in for over 2 decades. We all know that this site needs to be redeveloped. Next slide, please. This is the site plan that we're proposing for this property. When we initially came here during the land use and zoning stage for this site, we were proposing 169 feet for this property. We have reduced that as per our commitments to 110 feet for the development of the site, and we've kept the curation of the program and the architecturals the same as promised. Next slide, please. When we first came before you, one of the things that happened was that the neighbors really objected to having any ingress off of North Bayshore Drive. So what we wanted to do was show you what the initial plan showed, which showed an ingress off of North Bayshore Drive. Next slide, please. But given our commitment as part of the public hearing process, we committed to removing that ingress. And as you can see in the site plan that we've submitted, we removed that ingress pursuant to our commitments. Next slide, please. As part of the land use and zoning process, we also committed to providing for a perimeter baywalk along the site and to ensure that it will be lushly landscaped. As you can see in our landscape plan, we had always anticipated providing the baywalk. Next slide, please. Again, you can see that we've kept the baywalk as part of our site plan approval process, and it's in the site plan that we've provided, and we've also enhanced the landscaping to provide for perimeter trees on the exterior of the baywalk along with bollards. Next slide, please. This slide shows the comparison between the 169 feet building that we were initially coming in with and the 110 feet building that we revised it to, which is consistent with what we represented to this council and what we committed to as part of our declarations of restrictions. Next slide. We also committed during the land use and zoning process that we would not have any balconies on the north and northwest side of the properties. As you can see at the top right slide, we initially came in with a plan that showed those balconies, and pursuant to our commitments, we removed those balconies to make it consistent with what we promised as part of the land use and zoning process. Next slide. This is some of the enhancement that you can see for the baywalk. On the east side, we now have bollards, which are lighted bollards that you can utilize as you're walking around the perimeter of the site, and we also have trees on the perimeter. If you look at the left, we never had that initially as part of the plan, so we wanted to provide for an enhancement as part of the landscaping for the baywalk. Next slide. This is on the north side. You also see that we didn't have on the left side. You'll see that we don't have the bollards or the trees on the perimeter of the baywalk, and on the right side, you can see that we've improved the baywalk as part of our process and programming. One of the things that has come up as part of this process is that there has been some speculation, maybe some misinformation regarding the status of our declaration of restrictions. We made a commitment to this council that we were going to have a declaration of restrictions, that we would record that declaration of restrictions, and that we would comply with that declaration of restrictions. We've done all three. This declaration is recorded, and it provides constructive notice to anyone and everyone what our commitments are with respect to the site. Next slide. This details the substantive nature of all of the commitments that we have made as part of the process and that we will be complying with. $230,000 to Alfred Basadik Park, $100,000 to the Penny Sugarman tennis courts, $150,000 to the Police Athletic League, $500,000 for workforce housing, and improvements to the North Bayshore Drive gates and a second gate at Keystone. All of which we did, at least for the gates, all of which we did without a negotiation coming from the Keystone community, which we were happy to do, and we will continue to do so because that was our commitment, and we will comply with our commitments and our promises. Next slide. Now, I'm not going to belabor this issue, but there are a variety of different points that have come to our attention that the Keystone Community Association has raised. Suffice it to say that the majority of those issues have been addressed in our Declaration of Restrictions or are otherwise addressed in the city's Land Development Code, or would not be able to be committed to in writing because there are other agencies that would have to address those issues. So for example, there was a request regarding landscaping along the buffer of North Bayshore Drive, which we cannot commit to because DERM, the Division of Environmental Resources Management, and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection may object to that. So we are happy to move forward. We are happy to work with these recommendations, but we simply can't make in writing a commitment that we know or anticipate would have some objections. Next slide. Now, one of the things that we represented and one of the things that we will stick to.
Go back to that, to the last, I'm sorry. Go back to the last slide.
This slide?
Do we have that in our presentation? I think we, okay, okay, the last, never mind. I have it. I'm going to look at it. Thank you.
My pleasure. And then finally, one of the points that I would make is that for 53 units, this city stands to benefit over a period of 5 years directly to the city in taxes over $9 million. Over 10 years, over $19 million. And over 20 years, over $45 million from 53 units on a site that is currently dilapidated, that has not been used, and that will now be beneficial to not only the residents of Keystone, but to the residents to the south, where we're going to be improving Alfred Bassati Park, Penny Sugarman tennis courts, and providing for some funds for the Police Athletic League. Given the fact that we're doing all of that with a site plan that has no variances, that complies with your land development code, and that's consistent with your plan, we would respectfully request your approval. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have and would like to reserve some time for rebuttal. Thank you so much.
You stop. Thank you for the presentation, and now we're gonna go ahead to the portion of hearing. Karen, you first, and then followed by Frank Wolin, and then close out with Mr. Burns.
Karen DeLeon, 1935 South Hibiscus Drive. Pedro and everyone, thank you. The building's beautiful. We're good. I'm sorry if I've created a little bit of edge in the room. To explain, we have not known as a homeowners association how to incorporate these items that he's discussing and that KPNA recommends. You know, these were things that are specific to neighborhoods and specific to that site. So, like the boat moorings, we have so many boat charter party boats coming in and out. There were just certain things that we were hoping that could get incorporated in the acceptance of the site plan. We're not fighting a site plan. We're good to go. We didn't mean to create any anger. But we haven't been able to connect with staff to be able to go through these things.
And why is that, if I may ask?
I don't know. Eric Reel, who would be here tonight, and he apologizes that he's not, has reached out. These things have been sent out before.
Madam Manager, can you please get a handle of that, what happened with the communication between them and staff, please?
Yes, sir, I'm
Yeah,
already
thank you.
working on that.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
She still has time. No, I know she has time. I'm going to give her some extra time. No, because I'm pretty sure because by that time we had already had the 48-hour time frame. So when did you send, did Eric or you?
Oh,
or
these
any
were sent
members-
out. These were sent out last February. They've been sent out. They've been sent to staff.
When you're saying last February of this year?
Yeah. No, they've been around, and I mean, I don't do this as a job, and I do have a
we
full-time
know.
job, so
We know. We appreciate it.
we haven't had, I would like this. It's not about Keystone, and it's not about you guys. It is about staff. Sorry. It's not about the developer. It's about going forward as our communities are being developed, which is great. It's fabulous. As our communities are getting developed, it's about having dialogue. We talked about having community benefit agreements, which is great. You guys are doing great things. We appreciate it. Once again, I'm not criticizing you, Pedro. I'm just trying to figure out how we as a community can be like, okay, so you have your neighbors. In our case, we actually had a city planner who's actually affected by this. You have them, and they have these little things, and they're little things, okay? You have these little things, and you have a big project. How do we make it all come together so that by the time it gets here, we're just being like, yay, go.
I'm under the impression that everything was okay, that they spoke to you guys and you guys were okay. Can I see what you guys are trying to prosper? You got it?
Yeah, and I've got it, and I'm going to go into it during my remarks.
Okay. But how did I guess we'll figure out from staff.
yeah,
And we've shared this. We
Karen,
have shared it with the developers. We have. And they've been great. I mean, I'm not criticizing anything
No, it's
except the
not them.
process isn't working.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I would suggest in the future you contact your council person and say, council person, here are the things we're
Eric
working
said
on.
that he has been reaching out, so maybe
Yeah.
there's been misunderstanding. I've
Yeah.
seen emails. I have seen
I've been
emails.
copied on things, but nothing
okay.
that was specifically saying, "Dear Scott, this."
I
need
think
this
there,
from
in
you."
all honesty, there's that discomfort of, we try to make things work without involving you guys. I mean, that's, I don't want to be
That's
like,
how it's
Dad,
supposed to
Mom,
be."
they're not playing with us. So there, and we have a change in management. We have a new page. And that's just where I want to go through. I don't think there's anything really major here at all. And once again, I don't know what I'm talking about half the time when it comes to this, so we got that. But like boat mooring is kind of an obvious one. Like, what do we do about boat mooring, you guys? Because that hasn't been established.
Question for you. Doing the restricted covenant that we had last year, are these the same?
Yeah, they're the same requests. We haven't changed our requests. We keep making the same requests. And they really are minor things, but they're not, because as code enforcement will tell you,
Thank you, Ms.
the party boat things are a problem. Okay, we're cool. Thank you. No, were you excusing me? I'm sorry.
No,
you were okay. I apologize.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's fine. I thought these were the next one. And then I guess we could ask the questions right after that, Mr. Rowland, and then we'll get Mr. Burns, and then we could go into question. Yeah, I know some of these we've asked about the lighting. I know they have. Yes, some of these they have done. But I just wanted to make sure which one they haven't touched. Pedro. Go ahead, Mr. Rowland.
Good evening. I'm Frank Woland. I live at 12934 Banyan Road in Keystone Point, and I've been living here for almost 50 years and working here. I'm a consultant for Related, and I must tell you that I am thrilled to see the KPHA welcoming appropriate new development. And I'm very happy to see the council doing the same thing. And I think it is so important for our city to grow. I've followed this property for years and years, all of you have, and it's finally at the finish line. And it deserves its name. It's called Icon, and as the name suggests, that's something to be admired. It's really an outstanding property. It's doing so much for the public in terms of money, in terms of jobs, in terms of the community benefit package. It's really something that I believe will raise the quality of North Miami. It will raise the value of our homes, and it's just really good. So I thank you all for supporting it, and have a nice evening. Thank you.
All right, Kevin Bird.
Good evening, council members. My name is Kevin Burns, 2065 Alameda Drive. It's great to see you all. Mr. Charles, glad to see you. I just want to say that you all got beat up for many, many years on anything and everything, especially Cassandra, Councilman Galvin, Marie, and Alex, when you all were council members, on what was going to go here and the arguments and the fights and the nightmares that you all went through. Because of your perseverance, I believe that you're going to get a really great project. That something is going to be built there that the community could be proud of. It's within the scope of the proper density and size compared to what could have been there. And I think it's because of the perseverance that the council and listening to what the community wanted, that you all really have put your fingerprints on this project to make sure that it was compatible and it was within the scope of the neighborhood. And I have to thank the developers for the work that they've done to comply. And it's amazing up front how much they've already said, listen, you want us to do A, B, and C? We've done it, and it's in writing, and it's in black and white. So it's all great. I'm glad that they're smoothing things over with our neighborhood homeowners association. One of the things I like to see, though, is to make sure that there's some type of accountability that they actually do use that 10, 15% of local businesses from within North Miami, whether it's the demolition that doesn't come from a company from Broward County or South Miami when we have demolition companies here in North Miami. There's plenty of good sources of tradespeople here. And that's why you are here, to represent the residents and the community and the businesses. Let's make sure they get part of this job. They seem to be committed to doing the best they can, and all the off-site improvements that you all asked for, it looks like they're going to deliver on that, and that's a testament to you all and to the developer. And I look forward to this project moving forward. One quickly is that how fast can we get that building demolished? And hopefully we don't have to wait to 2024. If we get that done within the next 6 months, I think you'll appease a lot of your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're going to have a demolition party.
Anybody else that sign our card? Hearing none, public hearing is now closed. Any other rebuttal from the applicant?
Oh, they're in the hallway.
Oh,
Well,
and here he comes, Pedro Garcon. Mr. Mayor?
I have questions, but I'll hold them until Karen De Leon is back in the room and the attorney for the applicant is back in the room, so I can ask the questions on the record and get answers on the record.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garcon. We're ready for you if you have any rebuttals.
Well, he wasn't out there.
So the only thing I will say is that the room in and of itself speaks for itself. As you can remember, when we came through the land use and zoning process, this was a full house. It was overflowing into the vestibule area, and we don't have that. We have some empty seats in here, and I think that speaks volumes of all the work that we've put in as part of this process. I am looking forward to hopefully receiving approval as part of the site plan approval, given the amount of work we've done to work with this community and to stay true to every commitment that we've made as part of the land use and zoning process. Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion on the dais? Mr. Mayor, you have the mic.
I have a quick question. Go ahead, Councilman Goffin, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Make this quick. First off, let me state, boat rentals, boat commercial rentals, all of that is illegal in the city of North Miami. Staff, we have an ongoing issue in Keystone Point. We need to figure out how to really address it effectively, because the problem that's happening in the general Keystone Point is affecting their project now. And it's unfair to them, but, you know, we really need to find a way to ticket, you know, stand outside front of the houses with a megaphone saying boat rentals are illegal and make all their customers run away. I don't know what the answer is, but we really, part of that problem bubbling and bubbling and bubbling is now spilling over onto the Icon. I was given some questions by KPNA, and thank you for the questions. Thank you for Mr. Reel, who's a resident of Keystone, and all the work that he's dedicated here. Want to talk, Mr. Gassant, about on-site dockage and mooring. KPNA would like to see that a maximum of 5 boat slips be allowed on the site, and that they be moored parallel. I mean, I think that might be a necessary anyway because of the width of the canal. I'm not sure. But do you have anything to say about boat slips and the number of boat slips you'll have on the site?
So, Councilman, we would certainly make best efforts to comply with this. All of these issues with respect to 2A, Councilman, 2B, these are items that we're happy to comply with, but it's a process that we have to go through with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and in Durham, and we just don't want to make a commitment that may inadvertently negatively impact us as we're going through that process. But we will certainly make best efforts to comply with these with respect to their maximum 5 boat slips in order to ensure that we comply with what the community wants to see. And then, as you noted, Councilman, it's prohibited commercial use on C, and we're not going to have any signage along the perimeter for the. But I have been affirmatively clear that we can agree to saying that there will be no more than 5 boats there. That we can absolutely say.
Okay, and we all know now, for the record, any type of commercial usage of dockage in the city of North Miami is illegal and inappropriate. So please, if you see it, hear it, smell it, continue to, maybe not if you smell it, that's the sarcasm.
Actually, if you
But,
document
you
it,
know,
it's
right,
documentation.
right.
Yeah.
And please, you voted for me, you put me in office. As I stagger toward the finish line, please don't hesitate to bring things to my attention. And when you do, be clear about it, because the volume of stuff, I mean, I'm sitting here on the computer, I've had low water pressure things come, I'm having things come at me right now. If you don't wave it at me, I lose track, so I apologize. The other list of items that you had on the page under 7.7, I'm sorry that the rest of the community doesn't have this. This is something that the Keystone Point folks put together. Item 7A and 7B have to do with communication between all parties involved. Now, Karen, I hope KPHA, KPNA understands sometimes when you're communicating with staff answers to that city manager right there, not to you, not to KPNA, not to me. So sometimes the lack of communication might be because staff is afraid to communicate because their mean boss right here has said, answer to me and let me disseminate. Madam Manager, do you see anything in item 7A or B that you might have questions of? I think the end goal is that there be a streamlined method of communication between all involved so that questions can be asked in a timely manner, period.
Councilman, as I had explained before, I don't see any issues with that. It's obviously the staff working with the developer and a representative from the developer, a representative from the association for updates. So that is not a concern unless the developer himself has a concern.
Yeah, and Karen, who's your normal point of contact with ICON right now?
Don't we all miss Bob Pichon? Currently me. But
No.
we're discussing a way to do it.
Right, you, but who on their side, who do you contact?
Well, I mean, Andrew, we've met with another Pedro, and he said there's gonna be a site manager. And they have offered this
You're
as well.
comfortable with that as?
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay.
Believe it or not, we're all good together.
I think we covered that with the exception of, we said Mr. Tate would address the design issues with the gate.
Right, the guard gates
and
is
the-
separate, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do have somebody else who wants to participate in that process, but I'll get back to you.
So the people who are involved, at least between KPNA and ICON, you're cool with that? It might just be some staff stuff we need to iron out a little bit, but the
Yeah,
city
no,
manager and your council person are here for you.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, that's all the
Yeah.
questions I
Yeah,
have, Mr.
so, I mean,
Please,
all
Councilman.
Eric was asking was that these ideas get memorialized to whatever they can, so that you're pointing out the ones that can. I'm totally, once again, out of my element here. We appreciate the communication, we appreciate the awareness that this is bringing up to some of the topics that do affect us, and yes, we apologize, there is some carryover to you, nothing personal to you. Okay, thank you.
Any other member?
Yeah, I just want to say that it is such a big difference between last time we had that meeting and today. And great work on both sides. And I'm glad to see what we are, where we are now. And we are moving closer to really have an icon and our just point of entry on the east side of the city. Great job. And Pedro and KPNA board recommendations. Can you, just for the record, can you address point 8 and 9? Can you just elaborate on that for us, just for the record?
Sure. So the for point 8, the BZ does not permit any hotel or motel uses, so there cannot be any short-term rentals on the site. With respect to the timeline, we have some additional conditions as part of the site plan approval process. One thing I do want to note is that staff has been very, very thorough on this. I see how the sausage gets made in the city, and all I have to say is that staff is extraordinarily thorough. And kudos to Derek and his team and to Rosha and her team. for being able to bring this forward. There was a lot of detailed discussions on it, and a lot of discussion back and forth regarding how to make this work. So with respect to the timeline, I think the timeline is going to be impacted on some of the conditions that were entered into, but we're hopeful that we can move forward as soon as possible to get this development developed.
Thank you. No further question.
No further question. Madam Vice Mayor?
No question.
KT, no. Thank you so much, Karen, Pedro. I want to say, you know, folks will often say when they're talking to me in terms of what has been done or what I have done in the past couple of years here in the city of North Miami, and and I'll be remiss if I don't talk about this particular project for a minute. My colleagues, Councilman Galvin and Councilwoman Timothy, and Pedro, you know, and Andrew, the entire Keystone folks who have been on this journey with me about maybe a year and a half, Karen, I got dragged into this, but this is one of the projects that I am extremely that we've done together. And this is the homeowner group. And this is Keystone. And thank you for the amazing folks. I did not really know much about the project. I was brought into it, but we did what we needed to do. And I think the residents, definitely this is something all of us gonna be proud of. And I know you guys, the developers, have done amazing job listening in terms of coming. But this was a hard work. And the work that I put in, Pedro, I need to give myself some recognition. Thank you. By that building, I'm gonna say, okay, now I could see a couple of things. No, I don't want the name. No.
And Mayor,
His name is already on it. It's Icon.
I just wanna add one line to it. One thing that we don't talk about, the kind of heat that Councilman Galvin.
No, I took all the heat. Scott was okay.
Damn. I've taken heat for years, but I didn't take any heat on this because I told developers up front I'm not voting for your project, so it was easy for me.
Well, thank you.
But I truly appreciate your all's patience now with the community and the council person who voted against your project to still now have communication and work on some of the finer points. That is not unnoticed by me, and thank you for that.
Our pleasure.
And that was a long fight. Thank you so much, member of the council. Can I hear a motion on that item? We do have
move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item at tab M. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estime Irvin. Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Vice Mayor Estime Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Desame, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Charles, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members.
I said 907.
Well, he's not getting out of it. I'm gonna take 5 minutes.
You're going to talk until it's right on the time and move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Council, wait.
Is there a second?
Huh?
Second.
Oh, these people stopped.
We're
that.
just
They're
being
not
silly up
interested. Yeah, Citizen Forum is now open. See, we're doing such a great job, Sarah. Everybody just loved us. Nobody come out here no more. We loved it. Thank you so much. We love you guys too. Citizen Forum is closed. Thank you. All members of the council, they trying to win a bet here. Cassandra, you already lost. Wait a minute.
I said 907.
God.
Tick-tock on the clock, y'all.
People are watching.
They
Okay,
could
who's
watch.
report?
No, report. That's,
No report from District 1.
well, I have a 10 minutes report. I need to find a page, and so it's city. Well, we'll come back to council report. Madam Clerk, your report, then City Attorney Manager.
My only report is to encourage everyone to come out to the May 26th comedy show at North Miami Senior High's. Excuse me? Oh, it's being postponed. Just kidding. So don't come.
It's being
It's canceled?
On May- Who knows?
No.
In any case, I do want to thank
need to know. Is it
Paul
postponed?
for leading the committee. We're in our final days of events, and Paul has really taken a huge leadership role. It hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of work. but definitely made it happen. I think May 18th especially was a huge undertaking, and you did a phenomenal job with that, and I just wanted to thank you for your leadership of this entire committee. It's been such a pleasure working with you on it, and that's it.
Oh, thank you. You should have taken 10 more minutes. I'm trying to win here. Mr. Attorney, anything you want to talk about?
No report, Mayor.
Come on now, Jeff. Everything done for, you know. Anisha, you got to have something. Oh, Rasha, anything? All right.
That's 9:07's looking pretty good, y'all.
District 4, we got 5 minutes.
No report?
Oh,
Let me,
God,
I have a
this is
report.
bad.
District
Okay.
2.
Yes, yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy. I kid. But definitely wanted to say congratulations to the Haitian Heritage Month Committee. I know Mr. Paul Bazile was the chair. Chapeau bas. Congratulations. Flag Day was a success. Looking forward to next year. And happy Public Works Week to all the men and women in the Public Works Department. The work that you do does not go unnoticed. You are our unsung hero. Whistler, special shout out to Hassan, my favorite, who is an angel in that department. No, you said what? You work together? No, yeah, that is definitely the angel that you guys have in the department, along with Nikki, who's been holding you down for over 25 years, and of course Whistler. So happy Public Service Week. I'm sorry my mom couldn't bring the rice today when she was tired, but count me for next year.
And it was Lorraine's birthday in Public Works.
Somebody's birthday, Vice Mayor?
Yes. Oh, good evening, everyone. This is Vice Mayor Mary Estime Irvin. As we continue to celebrate Haitian Heritage Month, I want you to join me tomorrow for story time for at North Miami Public Library from 3:30 to 4:30 for this commemorative month. As a guest speaker, I will read a children's book, Haitian Heritage and Culture by Edwidge Danticat. And the title is Mama's Nightingale. So please, please come out or send your loved ones to the library from 3:30 to 4:30. Join me in the screening of a powerful documentary, Hush, like we discussed earlier, Help Us Say Help, followed by a panel discussion with mental health expert as we celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month in the city of North Miami this Thursday in the Scott Galvin Center from 6 to 9 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you everyone who joined us for the first Run Know Me Run 5K Run Walk event. We saw remarkable turnout with diverse participants from all age group and fitness level. Thank you to our amazing Parks and Rec team, especially Arlette Blake, for organizing a fantastic event, to the North Miami Police Department. Thank you, as usual, for making the route such a safe route. To the communications team, Savannah Smith, for emceeing. Thank you to our sponsor, Team of Hope, Humana, Michael Peasy Law Firm, and the CRA. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also thank you to our Water Stop sponsors, the Greater North Miami Chambers. Thank you, David. The Knights of Columbus, Mike McDermott, thank you. And the Copper Bridge Foundation, Gio, we love you. Please stay tuned for the new date for the second annual Run Know Me Run. I also would like to wish a happy Haitian Mother's Day to all those in the community this Sunday. And I yield the rest of my time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor, and I'm going to take a few minutes. I just want to give quick recognition to Public Works Department. They're ready to adjourn as they are the largest department in our city. As they celebrate, this is National Public Works Week. I think Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy mentioned it, and also recognition to our North Miami Police Department. May 15th was, during that whole week was National Police Week, Law Enforcement Day, and thank you for their contribution. And we also had teachers, what are you guys doing? Teacher Appreciation Week when was that?
It was about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. See, I'm not in the classroom no more. I don't remember. But to all of our teachers, the amazing work that they are doing. Scott, we left a couple years ago. Thank you again, and to all the mothers, happy General Mother's Day. And on next week, Sunday, happy Haitian Mother's Day. So it's always good for us Haitian Americans. If we miss last Sunday, which I didn't do nothing for my mom, so I got next Sunday. So this week I'll do something. So thank you again, and ready to adjourn. And Scott won, by the way.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I had a motion made by Councilwoman Timothy. Can I put you as a second?
Oh, yes,
Councilman Galvin?
Charles.
Oh, and Charles, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. It is now 9:10 p.m. Good night. We're adjourned.
I can even tell you what time we're going to adjourn next meeting. Is he gone?